Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Reach Bounty Hack, this time with AlgoHub and the Algorand Foundation. We're so excited to be here with you and go over everything you need to know. Graciously, we've been joined by our CEO, Chris Swenner, AlgoHub founder, Karen Cohen, and Summer Mayo from the Algorand Foundation, as well as our new head of community, Candace. And of course, teaching you the way and the ropes of Reach is JP Miller, our director of curriculum here at Reach. And I'm really excited to introduce the one and the only Chris Swenner to give us a few minutes of his time and share with you as to what a bounty hack is, why you're here, and just the great things that you should look forward to this next 6 weeks. Welcome.
I'm on already. I thought it was going to be like a bigger pause, but all right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Chris. I am the CEO and co-founder of Reach. So I got to think of all the things that Steph wanted me to talk about. Number one, bounty hacks. Bounty hacks exist because I think hackathons are kind of broken when it comes to bleeding edge technology. Usually what happens when you're doing a hackathon with a brand new technology, you spend most of the time just learning the thing, and then you spend like the last few hours putting together a presentation or a cool design so that you win, but you really didn't actually build anything cool. You just kind of learned something. So the idea with the bounty hack is that we want to make sure that we give you time to learn. And so you have time to learn, and then you have time to actually kind of find a team and then build something. And also when you're thinking of new bleeding edge technology, especially in the blockchain, it's really difficult to figure out exactly to know what to build. So we wanted to give you something to build, and we also wanted to make sure that everybody that crosses the line can actually win a prize. And then, of course, still at the end, there's going to be still ranking. So that's kind of what the bounty hack is. It's more about farming developers or farming people that we need to be in the space, and then figuring out what's next. Do we find a place for you to have a job? Do we help you through the idea? Now that you have an idea of how blockchain works and how Reach works, how to actually form a company out of it. But really, the bounty hack is actually just for the first step, and it's all about the next thing. What are you going to do next? Because the bounty hack, this is a short-lived thing, because we're all here because we want to change the world, which leads into the next thing with what Reach is. I think Steph wants me to talk about that as well. I'll assume the answer is yes. So Reach's answer is my answer to how do we actually make blockchain mainstream, because blockchain is a new cool technology that puts the power in the hands of the network. And this is important because one of the things that you always get from me is that I believe that the world currently is broken. I think that a very small percentage of a percent of the people in the world have all of the power, and because they have all of the money and they make all of the decisions. And it's not fair. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to you, unless you're one of those small percentages. Then hey, good job. But really, it's about actually spreading the power to the people and making things more fair. And blockchain is the only technology in my lifetime that was created that has the potential to do that. No, it's not a silver bullet. I'm not going to say, preach the power of blockchain. It's going to cure everything and, it's going to be great. But it's the only technology that actually has a chance at doing it. And in my belief is that I need to do everything in my absolute power to make blockchain mainstream, because that will give the best chance of blockchain to make things more fair. And right now, there's zero chance that blockchain will go mainstream because blockchain needs a killer app. Because a killer app is the only thing that will make the world go, hey, this is technology that will make my life better. But, and you can't predict what a killer app is, but what you can do is you can actually, throw developers at it. You can make blockchain development so easy and so safe that the tens of millions of developers in the world have the ability to build things that I think are stupid, like fart apps or whatever. But the thing is, like, by throwing that many developers at it, that's how you get the killer app. The people that think differently, and that's what Reach is. Jay, my co-founder, and I, we set out to actually make blockchain development exponentially easier. Oh wait, you got me small now, so smaller, Chris. But we set out to make blockchain exponentially safer and easier, and also wanted to actually abstract the different ways to build on different chains. And we succeeded to do this by building the blockchain operating system that is known as Reach. It's made up of a programming language, a compiler, and a deployment tool. The language is a higher level abstraction, so it's closer to development than what blockchain development like Solidity and or like Teal is. So it's much faster to learn, much easier to grok, and it's much closer to your traditional Web 2 languages. So it's much faster to pick up and build cool things. The second thing that we did is we made it safer. Through the compilation process, it will take what you wrote and it mathematically guarantees that it's correct. This is not, testing. This is actually turning your application into a math problem and then proving that the application will do what you expect in all potential realities. This is actually extremely intense and very, very much needed in blockchain because there's really no budget for bugs. You got to do it right the first time. Because if you put a bug in it, someone's going to take all your users' money. So Reach helps with this. And the final thing that we did is we made it so that you could write it when Reach and choose which chain you want to launch on. Luckily, one of our partners is Algorand, which is one of the sponsors here. They have absolutely amazing technology. It's they solved the actual blockchain trilemma, which hopefully the Algorand team will actually talk about what that actually means. But it's a very great technology that you don't have to learn a new way of doing it. You could actually just build your application in Reach, choose Algorand, and it outputs the actual bare metal code to run on that blockchain. And we package a deployment tool with it so you can test it and make sure it does what you want. But that's kind of everything in a nutshell. But go back what I just said earlier is like why you're here is because that blockchain development and blockchain becoming mainstream is a numbers game. And you are those numbers. You are those people that are coming in and going to be building cool new ideas, cool things that just aren't built yet. And the truth is that we need you because the future of blockchain is going to be built by people that have no idea what blockchain is today. It's not going to be built by me, this old fart that's been doing this for a long time, because we already have an idea of what blockchain needs to be. You guys are the ones that know that don't know what blockchain is supposed to be and can really kind of push it to its limits. So hopefully this is going to be the thing that inspires you to start building some really creative things and help save this world. So thank you so much for jumping in, for participating in this program. You can reach out to me at any point. My name is Chris. I'm on the Reach Discord. You can, I'm on Twitter, so make a lot of noise there, Twitter Spaces. But overall, thank you so much, and I'll pass it back to Steph. Is that back to you, or you can pass it to somebody else? Nailed it.
Nailed it. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. All right, there you have it. Next, we're going to have Karen Cohen with AlgoHub present herself and talk a little bit more as to, all the support that they're going to be able to provide for all the bounty hackers.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Karen.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name's Karen Cohen. I'm the founder of the AlgoHub. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend that respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today on our webinar. And I hope that there are some out there building on the Reach platform. So what is AlgoHub? We really looked around. I've been building blockchain communities for 5 years now. That's almost an OG, not as OG as Chris. And we sort of looked around at what Algorand's doing. It's doing an amazing job of having a blockchain that's fast, it's secure, it's cheap, it's green. and how do we get more dApps built on Algorand. We've got some grants going on, some amazing ecosystem partnerships with Reach, but what we don't have enough of is devs. And so how do we get more devs into the community? How do we get them hands-on? And I love this hackathon as our first initiative with Reach, who are really going to handhold us through learning the platform. As Chris said, it's safe and it's easier to learn. So we really love that. And then at the end of all that, the goal is to be able to support these apps that are being built on the blockchain with Reach and with Algorand. And I'll be running some employer sessions to introduce you to the Algorand community here in Australia, and hopefully even further abroad to New Zealand and Asia Pacific. And you'll get some plum jobs as well as some bounties along the way. So we're really excited. What we're doing at the moment is setting up some local office hours for handholding as well. Yesterday we ran a mixer for people who didn't have any ideas. I know that Reach will put some ideas also on their website, so you can choose some ideas about what you want to build. But if you do need help with what to build or who to build with, do reach out to me. Breakout Variant wants to build with Chris, so fabulous, thank you. Yeah, if you've got any questions along the way, feel free to post them in the chat here or to reach out to me at the algo-hub.io email address or website, and we'll be happy to liaise with you all throughout this program. At the end, we will have a wonderful demo day in Melbourne at Deakin, and that will be hybrid, so it'll be online as well. So we're really excited as well. I'll hand over back to Stefania. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, and next up we have Summer with the Algorand Foundation giving us a little spiel. Hello, Summer.
Hi,
Welcome.
hello there. Hi, everyone. Welcome to join us. So my name is Summer. I'm the community lead at the Algorand Foundation. We are really happy to provide our support to this hackathon, especially to our dearest partners, Reach and AlgoHub. So the Algorand Foundation, as Chris and Karen kindly mentioned before, is one of the most decentralized, scalable, secure, and sustainable blockchain infrastructures out there. So we at the Algorand Foundation aim to build an inclusive, borderless global economy based on the Algorand technology. While Reach has lowered the bar of entry for Algorand development, and AlgoHub has built us the Algorand Virtual Block Developer Hub, we are really ready to onboard you all to build on this amazing blockchain platform. Hope you all have a great time hacking. Thanks. Back to you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Summer. All right, so I'm just going to check here, see if Deacon, there we go, Alessio is available. He is staying up very late for this, so thank you so much for being here, Alessio. It's an honor to have you. So yes. Let me just, we can hear you. Hello. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm staying up late and waking up early, still trying to understand. Hi, Alessio from Deakin University. So we're going to be supporting these all of these events by providing first of all, a local community, so you can actually come and visit us. Oh, thank you. You can actually come and visit us on Thursdays down at Deakin. We're pretty much every Thursday there, so you can actually work with people in the evening. We're gonna, I guess, we're gonna leave the actual timing in the emails. We like to support people as much as we can. We have some students who want to work on these problems, both from IT, but also from other backgrounds. And really, we've been in blockchain for a number of years as well, or at least I have been. And so I'm really happy to support anyone who wants to throw an idea at me. Perhaps I'm not being the most available in the last couple of weeks. That's because I am actually on leave, but I'm coming back to Australia in a couple of days. So please feel free to send me emails or come and talk to me directly down at Deakin University. So yeah, that's me.
The fun things of technology, showing the behind the scenes of the Google slideshow and doing things from a phone, right? Wherever you are. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Alessio. All right. So thank you all for watching. This has been awesome so far. We still have to review a little bit more information about key dates. But before I do that, I want to also introduce to you all our head of community here at Reach, Candace, who will also be providing a few insights as to what to expect from our support here at Reach. Welcome, Candace.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be part of this community. And I want everyone to understand that I am available to talk to. I have over 20 years experience working with dev communities in a variety of technologies. And the one thing that I can say is different about Reach is just everyone has like electricity coursing through their bodies. They're just really excited to be a part of this. And it's so forward thinking. I love it. So expect an email from me. You see, I'm a real person. And I just want to find out a little bit more about what you're interested in getting out of this experience. Are you someone who's a newbie? Are you someone who has a great idea and wants to find a good teammate? Are you someone who wants to find a mentor? Are you looking for a job? I want to find out what you want so that I can give it to you. That's the point. I'm here to support you. That's all I'm supposed to do. And that's what I want to do. And I'm really good at it. So let me make your world bigger in the right ways. So look forward to an email from me, connect, and let's have a conversation. If you don't want to talk because you're super busy, then we can give you a questionnaire and we can move it along from there. Okay. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm really excited about this.
Thank you, Candace. All right. Okay, so I'm going to review some of the key information here regarding key dates and general need to know about the bounty hack and where to find the rest of this information. Before I do that, I'm going to share with you all just a QR code that you can scan that will direct you right to the landing page with all of the information I'm going to review right now. But it's great if you could just bookmark this, save this. It's also pinned in the Discord channel and available to you here now. Okay. All right. So some important dates, things to consider are this week. This week we're kicking off with a tutorial today. This whole video is going to be recorded and available for you in our YouTube channel. So you'll be able to pause through the tutorial as needed. And if you have any questions, Discord is your best friend throughout this bounty hack. You will have direct access to Chris, Jay, JP Miller, and these are all individuals or co-founders. These are directors of curriculum, our community leads, people like myself or Candace, and the core developers in our ecosystem as well to answer any questions that you might have. There's also plenty of opportunity within the Discord. All you have to do is ask. There's plenty of channels for you to maneuver through. And if ever you're confused at any point, don't hesitate to reach out and just let us know. We're here to support you. We've created a 6-week program known as the Bounty Hack. And the aim for the 6 weeks is to not only get you to a goal, but also ensure that you can start building blockchain applications on your own at the end of this process. So this week's going to be eternally focused on learning Reach, understanding how to make use of the programming language, our compiler, our platform, and then also learn how to deploy to mainnet, being Algorand. The tutorial that we currently have available for you that JP will be going over is the rock, paper, scissors tutorial. You will be welcome to do this on your own as well. Once you complete it, please take a screenshot and submit it to our type form. The type form is available on Discord. It's also pinned to the top. If you have just scanned that QR code that you saw here on the screen, it'll direct you to our Discord from there as well. Just join. There is a channel called the Bounty Hack channel, or Australia Bounty Hack channel, and you'll be able to basically get to know other members as well who are entering the hack, who might also be looking for teammates. So if you're looking to join a team, this is going to be the place for you to do that. Now, the tutorial's due April 4th at midnight. That would be in Australian Standard Time. Then moving into week 1, we will be only enforcing a mentor check-in once a week, as well as week 2, 3, 4. At any time, if you feel like you need more time with your mentor or have more questions, please, again, refer back to Discord. It's going to be your best friend. So if you want, take a screenshot of this, but if not, it's also available on that landing page, which you scan the QR code to. All right, some fun things that I will also address are things like the demo day, picking projects, things of that sort. So first and foremost, mentors are actually assigned after you complete your tutorial. So the way that this works is once you complete your tutorial, you're also going to submit a project that you wish to complete during the 6 weeks. You can pick from our project list, or you can come up with one entirely on your own. And we do encourage that you engage, that you become known, because at the end of this, there will be first, second, and third place prizes available to you. But there's also what we call a community choice award, which is actually provided by the entire community. So we will allow a voting process for all of the projects that enter this bounty hack to be one. You could win $1,000 basically if you have your friends and family vote for you and your project for being the best. So we will be incentivizing you to come and create these tutorials, workshops, or even have interviews with our founder, Chris. Completing the bounty hack, what we expect, what that means. So a completion of the bounty hack means that you've completed your project in whole. So for example, you're completing your tutorial being the rock, paper, scissors. Cool. Prove that you completed, submitting either a GitHub repository or sending screenshots of the project, right? So the difference here is that your application that you build with Reach must be deployed to Algorand's mainnet. It must perform basic functions, and it must be unique. And so what I mean by unique is we've had many projects in the past be similar. So you can't just go back to like old projects. So find a way to sort of give it your personal touch to make it your own. So what's a demo video? There's also instructions on how to do this correctly on the landing page. And basically what we're asking for is for a short video that goes through code. It has good lighting if you're showing your face or if you're just screen recording. Just make sure it's clear, it's concise, you can hear what you're saying, and that everything you're walking us through is actually making sense. We want to make sure that it's functional. So you'll be walking us through it and showing us that it does work on mainnet, how you made it happen. And we expect all of these deliverables available so that we can ensure that they're a part of the voting process for first, second, and third prize. So the beauty about completing this bounty hack is that there aren't just winners. Everyone's a winner in many ways. Anyone who completes a project that is fully functional on mainnet is actually paid out for completing that bounty. They are incentivized with $800. That's USD. And what's expected is what I just went over prior. There is a voting window for the first, second, and third prize. That voting window is from Wednesday, May 11th to Friday, May 13th. And this allows for everyone who participated within the bounty hack to vote for other projects, but they cannot vote on their own project. They must vote for another project. You will have an ability to vote for first, second, or third. Okay. So the community voting window is actually happening right after that. So it'd be the weekend after Friday, and we'll leave that open for 48 hours. During that time, myself or your mentor will be reaching out to you to either set up time to create workshops, assist you with creating tutorials, even helping you with creating a blog post so that you can earn some of the other incentives. A lot of these incentives are pretty simple because it will be work that you've already done, and you have the opportunity to win up to $1,700 by doing just that. So here are some of the incentives available to you. So for completing your project, there's $800, $250 available to you for completing a blog. Of course, we get it. Sometimes it's hard to release, you're perfectionist. It's hard to release good writing sometimes. I know at least it is for me. So we can offer full support. So do your best. Outline it, and we'll help you polish it or make it look nice if that's something you're concerned about. Again, we're here to support you. We want to see you win. So ask for help. If you would like to also earn $200, you can join us for a Zoom interview where we basically want to get your feedback and understand how we can make the Reach platform better. And we want to hear from you, a user who has their needs to be met. Then you can have the option of turning in a workshop or a tutorial, which we can also create an outline and send over to you if that's something you're interested in doing. So these are some of the video standards for the demo day, as well as some of the other incentives available. So we ask that you don't do 1, you don't do 2, you don't do 3. And you probably want to go with number 5 because that's the best, right? Your center. Everyone can see you. If you're sharing your screen, you can articulate what you need to say and work on what you need to work on. All right. Last but not least, we would love for you to connect with us on social media. If you want to update us on your progress, then we'd be happy to retweet you. We'd be happy to, answer your questions, even if you want to tweet at us. We want to see you be a part of this and win. So if you have any questions, please direct them to our Discord channel. We will be answering questions here on YouTube for about the next 30 minutes. JP will be going over the tutorial, and throughout he will pause and address certain questions. If he doesn't answer them right away, it's possible that he is actually going to be answering them with the rest of the tutorial. So be patient, bear with us, and we want to one moment. And we want to make sure, hey, you guys are on the same page. We're aligning, and you know what's going on. I see a lot of great teams already have signed up, so we're really excited to have you. Let me see if JP is ready to join us, and I'll have him get started. There he is. Amazing.
What's going on? Hello.
Oh, thanks for being here, JP. This is awesome.
I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's do this.
Okay. I'm going to give it away to you, and everyone stay tuned.
All right. Thanks, Steph. Hey, everyone. How's it going? I'm JP Miller, Director of Learning and Curriculum Development at Reach. So excited that you're here with us. So we're going to go over installation of Reach and getting started on the tutorial on the rock, paper, scissors game. And it's basically rock, paper, scissors, right? We've all played that. Maybe you played as a child, maybe you played children. And the whole idea is that you throw in a hand and you're picking rock, paper, or scissors, right? And so we're going to build that together. I'm not going to go through the entire tutorial. You get to do that independently. and work through that, but I'm going to get you started so you're ready to go. So I'm going to, let's see. I don't have the ability to drop links here. So what you want to do is go to, let me just share my screen and I'll just show you the documentation. Okay, so you want to be at our documentation. So if you go to like docs.reach.sh, this will take you to our documentation page. And you click that tutorials menu item, and then rock, paper, scissors, item number 2. And this is where I'm going to be working at, okay? So first you get a very brief introduction, and then walks you through the install process. I think installation is easiest if you're on a Mac, but if you're on a Windows, there's just an extra step of downloading something called WSL2, which is a Windows subsystem for Linux. Fortunately, I've made a video showing you how to do that. So Reach has a YouTube channel, of course, right? We've got a ton of videos here, and basically search for Reach or Reach platform when you go to YouTube, and you'll see one of our videos. So, you know, I know I'm signed in. I've liked some Reach videos here, but if I search for Reach platform, I'll find Reach, and then usually I'll just click in here, right? Y'all know what to do, and find a video. And then we have recently made, let's see, it's above the integration, Reach platform, Windows OS. So this is the video. If you're on a Windows machine, I'll get you up and running with Windows in less than 10 minutes, okay? But let me talk about the Reach installation for just a couple minutes here. And I'll be checking the chat. I'll be going back and forth to check chat, try to avoid doing the infinity mirror. But I'll check that out like in each subject. So you're going to need Docker Desktop. So if you're on a Mac or a Windows machine, you should download Docker Desktop. That's the easiest thing. So if you click, let's see, click this link for Docker. This will take you to getting started and gives you a nice, easy link to download Docker Desktop. So I'm on Mac, so I have the Mac options. If you were on a Windows, you would get the Windows options. And of course, you can download this for if you're on a Linux machine, and download for Linux, your version of Linux. The other thing you'll need is Make. Now, Make comes pre-installed on Mac. So if I open a terminal, and I'm going to have to reshare my screen because you can't see that right now, can you? So let me do that. Shoot. And we'll just do a window. Thank you, Reach, for dropping those links. That's great. Okay, so if I'm in a terminal, which I am, right, I can just do, let's see, it's make -- version. And as long as you get a version number, then you're good to go. Make sure I'm running my Docker. Docker is running. The other thing you want to be able to do is Docker -- version. So get that. If you don't have Docker installed, get that Docker Desktop. And when you install Docker Desktop, it ought to also install Docker Compose for you, which is the other thing you need. Now, this is kind of splitting hairs here, but downloading Docker for you Mac users out there, downloading Docker through Homebrew is not going to be the proper solution. So I know it seems like a triviality, but you really need Docker Desktop. Okay, and Docker Desktop should download Docker Compose for you as well. And so as long as you're able to run those 3 versions, then you have the prerequisites for Reach. Now, on a Windows machine, let's just go over there really quick. On a Windows machine, I've got the video that I showed you in our channel. We also have a guide for installing on Windows. And let's see. So the only thing that's different is that you need a Windows subsystem for Linux. So let's look at that at this link here. And I'm going to show you just a few lines that are important. So you start on a Windows machine. So you need to have Windows 10 or Windows 11. Windows 8 is not going to work. So we've had participants in the past who've had like a Windows 8 machine. They weren't able to use Windows 10. In that case, I suggest partitioning and installing a version of Linux, or do what you need to do to be able to like get a version of Linux on a partition disk. Might be an external hard drive or reformatting the whole drive, whatever option is available to you and makes sense to you. So you're on your Windows 10 machine or your Windows 11 machine. You're going to open your PowerShell or your command prompt as administrator. And then you just type in this command wsl-install. And this is going to install a subsystem of Linux. It's like putting Linux on your Windows machine. And what this does is as long as if you don't add a specific distro, right, you just do like the standard, it'll download a version of Ubuntu. If you want a specific distro, you can do that. You can tell it with the specific distro that you want of Linux. But let's just assume you go with Ubuntu. It will install Ubuntu on your Windows machine. And so in your start menu, you can type Ubuntu, and it'll be an option, just like you could open PowerShell or command prompt. You'd be able to open Ubuntu. And you'll do this. You'll open Ubuntu as administrator. Before that, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Still in the command prompt, you'll check your version, wsl-l-version. After you've got installed, you'll install Linux. Make sure you remember the password. You write it down or memorize it somewhere, like in your head or in a notebook. You don't want to forget that password because you have to go through the whole process again, right? It's kind of annoying. Check that version. Chances are you're going to have WSL1, but you need version 2. And to get to, you just set this. So WSL set version 2. And if you have just one distro, you can ignore the extra optional parameter here. Just WSL-set-version 2. That'll set you to 2. And then you're good. From there, you close the command prompt or the PowerShell. You're done there. And from now on, everything you do in Reach is going to be in your Ubuntu. Okay. If you have any trouble, give us a holler on the Discord. We'll help you through it. A lot of other people have gone through this process. Members there in the Discord be able to help you. Our engineers are there. They will help you too. So a lot of people have gone through this. I've gone through it myself. I might be using a Mac right now, but I've got my cheat machine right here to the left of me. It's Windows running that WSL2. And we've got videos and everything to support you. So we want you to be successful, feel good about this process. So give us a holler if you need help. What's the last thing that you might need with on your Windows machine in your version of Linux, right, is that you may need to install make. And so let's see, to do that, we would just say install make Ubuntu. There you go. And it's just a simple command. And you would do this from your Ubuntu, right? Your Ubuntu terminal. Let's see if this will load. So how to install make on Ubuntu. And then let's see, you can check that sudo apt updates. Sometimes that will do it. Check your version. If you don't have a version at that point, then you can do a specific sudo apt install make. All right, cool. All right, let me check for questions. That's weird. You can only see my face. Yeah, I've been sharing my screen. Oh, it's good now. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, let's move forward. So we're done with the install process, okay? We've done all that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to make a drive. So make directory, right, like in your terminal or in your Ubuntu terminal if you're on a Windows machine. This -p ought to make the directory and the subdirectory at the same in one command, and then the CD allows you to change your directory and move you right in there. I've talked to people that are saying, it won't do, it's not working, I'm getting an error message. If it is, then you can just break it up, right? Make directory reach, CD into reach, then make directory tut, and CD into tut, and that's okay. It's a little slower, but it's okay. This curl command right here is going to be your install line. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to walk you through the process in my terminal. So let's see, I'm in my terminal, right? And so I've got my reach directory here that I like to work in for my reach projects, right? And so I just do, let's see, make directory -p, and I can do my, let's see, bounty /tut, and let's see, it was 2 amps, and then CD, and we'll move into bounty /tut. And that we go. And so you can see I'm in my tut directory, present working drive. And there we are, reach bounty tut. Okay, and then I can just install reach. And that's the curl command. Install that less than a second. Reach is now on my machine. And if I do an ls, then there's my reach Okay, and that's installing Reach. I've got things set up over here, so I'm going to back out of that and go into, let's see. Cool. So I've got my files ready to go there. Okay, and then you can run Reach version. If you get a version number when you run this, you're ready to go. So let's try that. Reach version. And I've got Reach 0.1.9. So we're good to go there. The last thing I'm going to need is a text editor or IDE. So when you're using Reach, we recommend using Visual Studio. And the reason for that is because we have an extension. So I'm in VS Code here, right? And so if you don't have that, you can install that with an easy search. And then we have an extension. This is it. Yep, here it is. So if I search for Reach and do that Reach IDE, right, and then you can install that. I've got a little more than 2,000 downloads at this point. And what this does is gives you a nice tool set, right, for using Reach in VS Code. And what it helps you do is gives you that syntax sugar so that your Reach code will look like JavaScript. So it's familiar to like a full stack developer, helps you with autocomplete, and gives you like doc tips inside your code. And it'll even help you with like the debugging and things. So this extension is really handy. We have a couple engineers now, Hamir and William, that are working hard on updating this. So they're on a regular update cycle. And if you're using the IDE, you're using this extension, and there's things that you would like to see, then definitely drop Hamir Reach, that's his Discord name. Drop him a note and tell him what you'd like to see, and they'll put it in the roadmap for you. All right, cool. Let me check my chats one more time.
Real quick, yeah, it seems like people couldn't see your command screen.
That's weird. Yeah, I was sharing the whole window, so I don't know if that was my Mac protecting that. But we're not working in command screen much. You know what I can do is I can replicate that. Yeah, we're not seeing the command screen. I'm sorry about that. So you know what? I can replicate that in VS Code. So as long as I can see VS Code. So if we're here, okay, so I can just mimic it. Okay, so we'll make dir, and then I can do reach. Oh, I need that.
You share that screen right now. I'm only seeing this one.
Do you not see the VS Code?
No.
No? All right, let me share a specific screen then. Sorry, folks. Let's see. That's weird. I don't have the option to share VS Code. Well, that's no good. It's no good at all. Yeah, any suggestions? Yeah, that's yeah, see now that I can only see the browser. I mean, I could open a text editor online, I guess. Yeah, live demos, no kidding. Let me check my share settings really quick and make sure that there's nothing in the settings blocking. That would be over here. I haven't had this problem in the past. So.
Yeah, we've done this before, guys. We swear.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. For anyone who's waiting, I will add our Discord link here.
If there's any other questions, it's a good time to take questions now too. If anyone has questions, then I can answer questions while I'm frantically searching for the solution here. All right, let's see. Let's see. Well, I can open a live text editor online. I'm just not going to actually be able to run the program. So that's, you know, it'll require a little bit of imagination. It's not exactly ideal. Let's see. Are there any questions in the chat? Okay. All right. Well, let's see. All right. Yeah. Do. Okay, is that working or no? We're not seeing the VS Code.
I can see it now.
You can see it? All right, we're in business. Cool, let's do this. Okay, so this is the terminal down here, right? And see make dir p, and then we're going to do reach/tut, and then a double ampersand cd, and a reach /tut. This, not a directory. Okay, and this time it's not going to do it. I did this in the terminal and it worked. And if you get this error, it's not a big deal. Just do make dir and then reach, and then okay, that exists. Well, let's see. Let's try. Let's just do a make dir, test, and then a tut, and we'll cd into test and tut, and that's still not going to do it, and that's fine. So we just break it up. Make dir test, cd test, right? And then just do the next one. So this worked in my tutorial, and maybe it has it's in my terminal, and maybe that has something more to do with VS Code rather than. Okay. Don't cancel. Don't leave me. Okay. And then we grab that curl. So let me grab that curl statement to install reach, and you'll see here. It's just that fast. So reach installed in less than a second. You get to experience this yourself as well. Okay, so we're ready to go. I've got these other directories. We won't need those. All we really need is the magic JavaScript file. It's going to be our front end, and our reach shell. This is our back end. And then I've got my reach kernel there, my program, right? So we can do something like reach version. Okay. And let's start coding. So I'm going to close that out, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you. In the instructions, there's also the reach config that it walks you through. So this section right here, I'm not going to do that. What I would rather do is just when I'm starting out, when I'm first starting, I don't recommend doing the reach config because it does tend to trip up people who are brand new to the language. So I'll show you what I recommend doing here in a moment after we code a little bit. So we need a little more excitement. Okay, so let's start. Every reach program is going to start with that reach 0.1 at this point in time, right? And you're telling the compiler what version of reach you want to use. And then this line I'm typing now, this export const main equals reach.app is initializing my application. So everything inside of here that I'm typing right now is what we call a participant interact interface. So that sounds like a mouthful at first. It can be intimidating sometimes. So let's talk about that participant interact interface. And you can see I'm typing the word participant, so maybe that has something to do with this jumble of words that I'm putting together, spitting out of my mouth here, right? And interact interface. Well, we know that an interface is something that we can interact with, right? It's like a GUI or a terminal or a command prompt, right? That's an interface. Or like our dashboard in our vehicles is an interface. And interact, well, that's something we can interact with, right? Something that we can maybe communicate with or manipulate in some way. And participants are actors. So a participant interact interface, so that would be a place where actors can manipulate a GUI or an interface of some sort, right? Or a dashboard. And essentially, this is what we're doing. We are defining the methods that and the functions that are going to be available to our participants, right? The actors. And here we've created Alice and Bob. They've been around for a long time. Right? Very common in our world of cryptography. And anything inside of this object here, right, is going to be an interact interface. And then the one other thing we need right here is an init statement. You want to be careful. You see what just happened there? It's auto-completing to infinity. Our team is working hard on this because it's annoying a lot of people. So just hit escape and then go on your merry way. And watch out for that infinity. And we're working on that. And then our program is going to go below here. Right? Okay. So this is a very basic architecture of the Reach backend. And then let's go to the front end. The basic architecture of our front end is a little more complicated. Well, it's not complicated. It's just a little longer. It's a few more lines than what we just wrote in the back end. But we're going to walk you through. We're going to get you through all of it. Okay. So first of all, we got our standard library that we're importing our standard library. And of course, a library is a place where you keep a lot of books, right? In computer world, a library is a collection, just like a library is a collection of books, a collection of information and knowledge. A library in Reach, in computer science, in computer programming, is a collection of methods and functions that we put together for you to make your life easier. We're sweet like that. So your library, and your library has like nifty things like, you know, ways to add math, like with an addition method, or subtract with a subtract method, or things that are not as trivial, like interacting with networks and parsing currency, like we're doing here on line 5, or creating a new test account, like we're doing on line 6 here. And what we're doing now is we're actually populating, we're saying we're creating this constant of starting balance. And we're giving that 100 indivisible tokens, right? So parse currency tells Reach to indivisible tokens, right? The lowest common form. So think pennies. You can't divide pennies down any smaller. Or there's other methods that will give you the formatted version of currency. So you can think like dollars and cents, and that's divisible. So this is like 100 microalgos, for instance. And now we're going to initialize our contract. So here on our front end, what I've done right here is I have deployed our contract. And now in this next line, we're going to have Bob attached to the contract. So Bob does a little more. Alice is deploying the contract. Here's Alice deploying the contract, sending it out there. Bob is attaching to the contract. So he also needs the backend. Alice is deploying this backend here. It's giving me the squiggly lines, so I keep thinking I'm spelling it wrong, but it's all good. And then Bob is communicating with the backend, and Bob also needs to get Alice's information, any contract information she has to share, so that he could actually attach to it, right? Because if Bob doesn't have Alice's information, then Bob's not going to be attaching to anything. It's like, if the dragon goes up into space to connect to the ISS up there, and it doesn't know where the ISS is, the dragon's going to have a hard time connecting. All right. Now what I'm doing is I'm wrapping a promise, and I am going to put our interact objects inside of this promise. So we're calling on Bob's contract and Alice's contract, and everything inside of here is our interact object. And so what you're going to see is that the back end mirrors the front end, and you're going to see this here shortly. So this right here would actually run. We could actually run this. It's not going to be very interesting. There's not a whole lot going on here. We're going to get an error or a warning. We'll get an error, shouldn't it? But we'll get a warning that says, you ain't doing nothing, right? So if I do a reach run, when I do this, before it actually compiles, it's going to tell me I need to connect to something, connect to a network, right? So if you see this message here, what this is telling you is, hey, you're missing a connector mode. In other words, Reach is saying, I want to connect to a network so that I can compile your Reach program to the protocols required by the network in question. And you need to tell me which one, because I'm a computer and I'm really not that smart. You're the human, you're the smart one. You tell me what I need to do. Okay, so of course we're going to connect to Algo. So let's do that. And we do that with a simple command, export, and then it gives you right here at the top, reach connector mode, right? So in all caps, reach underscore connector underscore mode, reach connector mode, and we're going to equal that to Algo. So we're going to connect to the Algo network. Bam, that's it. All right. And then let's try reach run again. And it's clipping the top of the words a little bit, but it's there. So there's no publications in the application, but it tests the verification engine running. There's no failures, and it still really doesn't like that back end. And I don't know. I think that might end up being a problem. We'll see. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that right now because this is not doing anything. What I will do is I'll destroy this build folder. We'll just delete that. Yeah, move to trash. There we go. Okay, cool. You know what? While I'm at it, I'm going to get rid of that testing too, because we don't need that. All right, great. Check for questions. Got any questions in here? Import as back. Nick is saying that from. Thanks, Nick. You're always there for me. I really appreciate that. No, I thought let me double check it. As. It's that as. I did this the last time too. So, attention to detail is like super important. Super important. Missing semicolon, a missing word such as it's going to get you every time. So thank you, Nick. And who else? Welcome, Raymond or Ramon. What references? So to get started, you want to get it started in the docs. Yeah, thanks again, Nick. I really appreciate you. These docs right here, my man. So you're going to go to docs.reach.sh. I know that text is small. Docs.reach.sh, and Reach dropped the link in the chat a little earlier. So just like scroll up or scroll down, whichever direction, and you should be able to see those. And then you're going to click on tutorials and rock, paper, scissors, and this is going to get you started. And then you definitely want to join our Discord, and I'm sure there's a link to that in the chat as well. And we will help you. We got a lot of friendly people there in the Discord that'll help you, including Nick. Nick is there. Okay, so let's do something interesting. All right. So we're going to move forward, and I'm going to create a player because we need players, right, to play rock, paper, scissors. So we got to have a player, someone who's going to play our game. or to somebody's. And here we're going to define our methods. So I'm going to create a function called getHand. And this is a function that will take no inputs and output an integer. And then a C outcome is going to be a function that will accept an integer. And then we'll have Alice and Bob will both inherit player. Okay, so Alice and Bob now both have the ability to use the getHand and the C outcome methods. And then we'll start writing a program here. So I'm going to start Alice, and this is going to be our first local step where Alice gets to do something. Okay. Before we carry on in the back end, let's go ahead and continue our thought with getHand and C outcome. All right, so we're going to save that. And then we're going to, after we set up our start and balance in our contract, we're going to set up our hand constant. And we'll set up our rock, paper, scissors, right? Okay. And then we also need an outcome. And there's 3 outcomes that I can think of, which is that Bob wins, we have a draw, and we have an Alice wins. So there we go. And now we'll also set up our comps player in the front end. So earlier I used that word mirror, and I really quite meant that. And that here we are mirroring. There we go, comps player who. So this could be any player, Alice or Bob. And in the back end, we named our methods. And here we're going to, excuse me, it's late here. And now in the front end, we're going to give those methods functionality. So what we're doing now is we're randomly selecting a hand for Alice and Bob, right? So we're just going to, for practicing, for testing, we're going to do all of this in the console, in the terminal. And we just want Alice and Bob to do the heavy lifting of actually like picking hands. Okay. And then the computer will tell us what hand they picked. Okay. So get our comma in there and end that. And then we also need a C outcome. So our C outcome method here. And similar setup here, and we'll have outcome and our arrow function. And this is just going to be a message. .log, and we're going to say who won, or they saw the outcome, right? So Alice or Bob saw outcome, and then name that outcome. Sounds like a game show, right? Like name that outcome. Okay, there we go. Last thing we need to do here on our front end is populate this interact object. So we had player on the back end, if you recall, and I was talking about those mirrors. So on the front end, Alice and Bob will again inherit player. This time we'll pass in, Alice as an argument. And for Bob, we'll pass in Bob as an argument. That makes sense. And I can put a comma there. And semicolon here. Okay, so that's our front end. So we have getHand C outcome. We've defined that functionality. In the back end, we had getHand and C outcome, and we named them, right? And then said what kind of inputs and outputs they'll have. And so this helps us. If we know we made a getHand function, no inputs, integers, and output, that should be reflected in the front end. So in our getHand, there's no inputs there, right? And we're outputting. Make sure I didn't miss something. Yeah, I did. we are outputting hand, right? And hand is going to be an integer, 0, 1, or 2, based on this equation here. And then in C outcome, we have that integer as an input, and we have no output, so we're not returning anything. All right, cool. So check for questions really quickly here. Yeah, you bet. Okay, cool. Let's move forward. All right, back to the back end. And we're going to put Alice in her local step. So Alice only, const hand Alice. And Alice is going to declassify her information, which is a method that you can only call in a local step, which means, what is a local step? I keep using this word, local step. Well, a local step is a step that only a single participant can take part in, right? So everything inside of these curly braces is for Alice only. So Alice alone is interacting with her get hand method. All right, so she's randomly picking a number, 0, 1, or 2, which correlates to a hand, rock, paper, scissors. And then she alone is declassifying that information so that it's prepared to be shared in the network, on the network. And she's storing that inside of a constant. Okay. When she closes out of here, Alice is going to publish her information. And when Alice publishes her hand, she is publishing that to the blockchain. All right, so she's publishing that information to the blockchain. She's committing that information. So this is now immutable, right? So this information cannot be changed, right? So a lot of things in the world are mutable, right? And by like mutable, mutant, mutate, things that change, right? So like if it's mutable, it can change. So like Play-Doh is mutable, right? You put it in your hand, spin it around, warms up a little, and then you can mold it into all sorts of things. What's not mutable, like or immutable, like a rock is. We could argue that a rock is mutable as well, and I suppose like acquiesce, if you wanted to argue that hard enough, but it's not as easily mutable, right? Like a rock is generally a rock. Maybe after 1 million years, it'll change, but generally, like, it's very difficult. Right? It takes water a long time usually. Okay. So now Bob is going to do the same thing. So Bob's got his hand. He's declassifying. He's interacting with his get hand method. Same thing. He's picking a number, 0, 1, or 2. Correlates to rock, paper, scissors. Interacting with that method, declassifying the information, and then publishing that to the blockchain. Now, before we commit, Bob's going to do one other thing. Well, not Bob is, but our program is going to do one other thing before we commit. And here we're going to create an outcome, an expression for outcome. What we're doing here is, and this is really exciting actually, it's like really cool. There's a child in your life, you want to like share this with them. You tell them you mathematized rock, paper, scissors. This is a mathematical expression of rock, paper, scissors. Right, so Alice's hand and Bob's hand. So this is a mathematical expression, rock, paper, scissors. Let's say Bob's hand is, Bob picks a rock, okay? So 4 minus 0, so his rock was 0, if you recall, right? So 0, 1, 2, right? 0, 1, 2 correlates to this random. All right, so Bob picks a rock, 0, and let's say Alice picks a rock too. So we ought to get a draw, right? We ought to get a draw. Okay, so 4 minus 0 is 4. Plus 0 is 4. 4 modulus 3 should give us 1, right? So 0, 1. 1 is draw. All right, let's try Bob picks rock again, and Alice picks scissors. So this is a 2, and this is a 0. So 4 minus 0 is 4. Plus 2 is 6. And then 6 modulus 3 is 2. So, excuse me, 6 modulus 3 is 0, right? Because 6 divides into 3 evenly. There's no remainder. So Bob wins. Okay, and then commit that information. And we're going to do one final thing here, which is add this new method called each. And what each does, it allows Alice and Bob to quickly move from their consensus steps to their local steps. So very quickly, basically what we're doing is each participant gets to take a turn doing whatever we put inside of these curly brackets. And then they leave, and then the other participants gets a turn. It's kind of like, you know, when you're little and you're in school and like you're going to go into a small room and you got to take turns, right? Everyone's in a line, or like in a music park or anything like that, right? We'll all get a turn, and the roller coaster is the consensus step, and we all agree it rocks. You got to wait in line to take part. Now, what am I missing? This doesn't belong. This right there. There we go. Okay. So Alice and Bob each interact with the see outcome method, right, which is just a command line statement that tells us, or console.log statement. Yeah. So this is our program, bare bones program, 34 lines. This is a fully working Reach app, and about the same, 32 lines on the front end. Take questions before I run this. Okay, looks like we're good. And let's run that. I got the file saved. So I'll clear that out. Hopefully that error is gone. Yeah, I fixed that, so we should be good. So I'm going to do a reach compile this time. Reach compile compiles your program, and it'll run the verification engine. So I haven't talked about that yet. So your verification engine, the thing that makes when we say that Reach is the safest way to build Web3 applications, what we're referring to is the verification engine, right? So think about like this. It's an engine, it's something that runs and it verifies, right? So like verifies is verifying the truthfulness of a thing. And what we're saying is that Reach uses symbolic module theories, SMT, to create abstractions about your program. So if you remember in geometry, you would draw like shapes, you know, and then you would find lines that were congruent and angles that were perpendicular 180 degrees. And you write all these proofs that you could about these diagrams, right? Well, Reach does that with your program. It writes like 1,000 proofs about your program. And then it uses SMT, symbolic module theories, to verify the truthfulness, and actually tries to break your program, like actively tries to break your program. And only when it fails to break your program, then it gives it the stamp of approval that your program is verified truthfulness. So that's really cool, and that makes your programs very safe. So every Reach program comes with a mathematical verification. Okay, so we've run the program now. I have the ability to upgrade NPM, so that's not part of Reach, that's NPM. Here's the important, the exciting thing here, right? So Alice plays scissors, Bob played scissors. Hey, we got a draw. And they both of our participants see that there was a draw. Okay, so let's do it again. We should get a winner this time. Draws are as common, just by probability. So here, Alice played paper, Bob played rock. Well, paper wraps rock. So we both see that Bob and Alice see that Alice wins. So there you go. That is get you started with Reach. There's a lot more to the rock, paper, scissors tutorial. So I got you through install, scaffolding, and rock, paper, scissors. Your next step is bets and wagers. And of course, I've skipped all the pros in here. I've skipped all the quizzes. So definitely want to like go back and read these things and understand line by line. If there's something that you don't understand in this tutorial, definitely like drop us a line. I'm JP Miller in the Discord. Drop us a line, and we're actively updating the documentation. We've got a couple new tutorials that are in production and going through the PR, the pull request process. So I have some more tutorials on the way soon. And if there's something that you'd like to see, please let me know. and me and my team will work hard to make that happen for you. Look for questions. Looks good. No, so Nick, that is not the extent of what you need to submit for the tutorial section. You'll need to complete the tutorial, right? So you'll go through bets and wagers, trust and commitments, the timeouts, play and play again, interaction and independence, and the web interaction. We're actually going to build a GUI. And then all of these, this is all part of web interaction. It moves a lot faster than what all these subsections would make it look. Once then we put it all together. So this is a summary. Once you finish the web interaction part, that's what you'll submit. That's a great question. Thank you, Nick. Awesome. All right, I'm going to stop my screen share. All right. Well, that's a wrap.
Awesome. Thank you. You rocked it. All right. There we have it.
Great to be here.
Okay, everyone. So please join us on Discord. If you have any questions, that's where you'll find us. This will be live on YouTube. So if you need to play it back, just go ahead over to the Reach YouTube channel and you'll find everything that you need, tutorials, install, and all of the links are pinned into the Discord on the Australia Bounty Hack channel. We look forward to having you. Thank you for being here and have a great rest of your day.